Hey there, this is LexC, and sitting in the living room recording a video. I'm not really sure how I want to attack this topic. I just know that it's something that came to mind. As I go through my followers on Instagram and I kind of see who has their email addresses available, I take screenshots of those things for marketing stuff that I do. And just trying to figure out how to touch base with the people who follow me and try to get to know them and figure out why they follow me, what about my page made them want to follow me, or what about that specific piece of content made them want to follow me. And so that's a sidebar. I came across on one of those screenshots a screenshot of a profile of a guy who I did not like his approach to me whatsoever. It was very aggressive, and I communicated that to him, but he did not receive it. It's like he wasn't even listening really. And so I guess I wanted this video to be about the proper way to approach people for your business. I didn't write down any notes or anything, so this might come off as a very much kind of a rambling sort of presentation. I apologize if you're not into that sort of thing, but I'm gonna try to get the main points across. Hopefully this will be short. I'm already in 2 minutes and 15 seconds. But anyway, when you are approaching people, it's really important that you are listening, not just audibly to what they're saying, but also listening to body language, to, I don't know, yeah, that includes the face, so I don't even need to say facial structure, but you need to be listening not just audibly to what they're saying, but listen to what their body is telling you, what their body language is saying. What are you doing? Okay, he's just gonna sit there. All right. So it was a Sunday and I was coming back from church, and I don't remember why I went to the mall, but I had to go to the mall to pick up something. I guess I was just in the mood to shop, and I was looking for maybe a very specific top or some kind of shoes. Probably shoes for my friend's wedding at the time. I didn't have any white heels for the wedding, and I was going to the mall to see if they had some. And it's one of those days where I wasn't really feeling very well, and I didn't really want to be bothered by many people. So my body language and my mind, it was communicating that I did not want to be approached, and I wasn't interested in starting any conversations with anybody for any reason. I was walking fast, briskly, with a purpose. I wasn't lounging about. So if I'm walking fast, that should let you know that I am going somewhere. I have somewhere to be. I'm not likely to want to stop and engage because I got something important I want to do. I wasn't making eye contact. My eyes were very scattered and like scanning the room, scanning things very quickly and quickly switching from subject to subject. So I wasn't gazing at one thing really long and then going to another thing really long and then looking at this. You know, those people who are walking around and they just kind of in awe and in wonder about everything. No, me, I was walking very briskly, walking very quickly, because I know what stores I want to hit when I go to the mall, because I don't really like being in the mall like that. Just lounging around or just walking around, it's not my cup of tea. It's not fun for me, honestly, because I don't usually have the money to be spending like that. But anyway, so I'm walking really fast and my eyes are cutting in all different directions. It's not really focusing a gaze very long on any one particular subject or object. So those two things right there should tell you that I'm not interested in starting a conversation. I'm not interested in I don't really have extra time that I want to give attention to anything with. And on top of that, I think I have a straight face. Like, I have RBF, which is resting B face. When I'm not smiling, it looks like I'm the meanest person in the world until you come talk to me. So all of these things, that's my body language telling the world, in my opinion, or in my head, it should be telling the world that I'm just here to get what I came to get and I want to get out. Please don't bother me. Please do not try to start a conversation with me. I'm not interested. Let me do me. So this guy, you got the backstory of my body language and how I feel I was communicating my unavailability to the world. This guy whose screenshot I came across in my phone, I took a screenshot of his profile because the way he approached me was just so annoying to me, honestly. I think I passed by him once and he was trying to get my attention, but if someone's not like directly in front of me and they're like behind me saying something, admittedly, I will act like I didn't hear it so I can continue walking and going about my day, so I don't like turning back around to see what's up. I really don't. I just keep on walking and act like I didn't hear it, especially if you're not like directly in front of me. So the first time I passed by him, I got off because I didn't interact. I didn't acknowledge him. I forget where I was walking, but I ran into him again, and in the corner of my eye, I'm thinking like, shoot, there's this guy again. He's very aggressive. He's coming up to me. He's like touching me, like almost pulling at my shoulder for me to turn around. He actually got the gall to touch me, so that was annoying. And so what I'm trying to say is my body language was already saying, hey, I'm not interested. I don't want to talk to anybody. When he was trying to get my attention, I kept walking. I think I turned around briefly to say hey or something because he said, hey, how you doing? Excuse me, like really quickly trying to get my attention. And I said, hey, how are you? Thinking he just wanted to say hi or whatever, not trying to engage again because I wasn't interested in that conversation. But he started following me and I'm walking really quickly. So he has to keep up with me, almost like he did like a little jog, I feel like. And then I kept walking fast. I was like, okay, thanks, bye, or hi, bye type of situation. He grabs my shoulder and tries to pull me around to try to get my attention that way. So I'm super offended at that point. And he's like, hey, let me get your number. Let me get your contact. I want to talk to you about something. I want to tell you about something. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't really feel like giving out my information. He was like, oh, okay, you got Instagram or something? Follow me on Instagram right now. And it was just super aggressive. And like, as a woman, a lot of times we're placed in situations where if we don't comply with the request of whatever guy is in our face at the time, he might get really aggressive. Or there are some guys who I've come across, if they get any kind of rejection, they become like, they switch like that. They get really aggressive. Like they could be trying to talk to you one minute like, hey, beautiful, how you doing? But if you don't acknowledge them, like, F you then, B, that's why I ain't want to talk to your ugly A anyway. Those kind of guys, right? He seemed like that type. So I didn't really want any issues. I went along with the whole following him on Instagram because he wouldn't like take no for an answer. He wouldn't take no, I don't want to give you my contact information as an answer. And I feel like I was forced to follow him. So I took a screenshot of that because it's like, all right, I'm going to follow you right here. But as soon as I get home, I'm unfollowing you because your whole approach was just totally wrong. It was irritating to me. And to his defense, he probably thought he was being very confident. But to me, I felt like he was not listening to what I was saying. And he wasn't paying attention to my body language at all. So I'm walking quickly. You had to do a light little jog to keep up with me. And then you had to touch me to get my attention. When I did acknowledge you, I did it quickly while still moving forward. I did not stop to interact with you. Those two things alone should have told you I did not want to talk. And then when you finally get my attention and I do actually stop to chat with you, I tell you that I don't want to give you my contact information because I did not like your approach. I didn't tell him that I didn't like his approach, but in the kindest way that I could, no, I don't want to give out my information. But he was just really pushy, and that's how I ended up basically being forced to follow him on Instagram. So I took a screenshot of it, and so I could remember the guy so I could unfollow him later. But and then he messages me on Instagram, and he still does not tell me what he wants in the message on Instagram. I'm like, hey, well, he messages me and says, hey, let me get your number, again asking for my information. Little did he know I keep those things on my profile page, my business number and my business email. If he was, and this is a little shade, if he was smart, he would have seen that my information, my contact information is already on my Instagram page because that is a business Instagram page. But not too smart in the noggin there. He didn't figure it out, and I was actually very grateful that he did not figure that out, because I did not want him calling my phone. His whole demeanor, his whole approach completely turned me off, so I was very thankful that he did not get my information. But yeah, he messaged me on Instagram. He's like, hey, let me get your number. And I'm asking him like, hey, honestly, your approach when we were at the mall, I didn't like it. It was too aggressive. But if you want to chat on here, we can do that. What would you like to talk about? And he stopped. He was like, oh, well, I just wanted to let you know how pretty you were, and I wasn't trying to be aggressive or anything. And then he stops messaging me. So to this day, I don't know why he stopped me in the mall, even though when we were in the mall, I left this part out because it's such a long time ago, it's kind of blurry. He said something about wanting to do business, even though he had no idea what I do. So in my mind, I felt like he was trying to holler at me. So that's really why I did not want to give him my contact information or interact at all. But when we were in the mall, he was trying to position it as if he was some kind of business person looking for a business collaboration. But then when I asked him what he wanted in the Instagram messages, he had no answer for me. So this video is how to prepare to approach people, or how to approach people. Not just how to approach a lady, but just how to approach people in general. So you want to listen to their body, pay attention to how they are looking, pay attention to how they're acting, how they may be interacting with other people, or just how they are within their environment. Excuse me, I might need to get some water. So for me, I'm walking really quickly. My eyes are cutting in every which way direction. I'm not lounging through the mall. That would tell somebody I have something I need to do, right? If you see somebody who is very closed off, they are not trying to interact with people, they are not giving anybody an opportunity to make them think that they have free time or extra time to engage in any extra conversations or activities outside of what they originally came to this location for, pay attention to those signs. You most likely are not going to be successful in interactions with those people because they already have something set in their mind, and they're not going to be deviated from that path whatsoever. Pay attention to that kind of body language. You also want to look for, so people who might be sitting down, right? If somebody is sitting down and like, I don't know, if I was in the mall, my legs are crossed, my shoulders, my arms are crossed like this. Hey, muscles come through. My arms are crossed and I'm looking down and I'm looking down and I'm not really looking like I'm looking up and surveying my surroundings. I'm very much closed off and in my own world. If you see somebody doing that, they probably don't want to be bothered. You probably don't want to approach those people. So leave those people alone. They are telling you everything you need to know about how they are feeling, what mental state they're in. They don't want to be bothered. At least in my case, if I'm doing those things, I don't want to be bothered. Now, on the flip side, somebody who may seem like they are approachable, someone who may be open-minded, someone who may be open to the idea of chatting, and they might be curious about a new experience for the day or a new experience for the moment. That's going to be those people who are walking with all the leisure in the world. They're kind of strolling about. Their eyes take really long gazes on particular objects or people. Their eyes are not cutting. It's not really fast. It's like slow gazes, long stares. They're kind of like taking the time to soak in their surroundings, right? If they're actively walking. If they're sitting down, they might be sitting up. Their legs might not be crossed. They might be sitting like one of these positions, you know? They might be sitting like that. And they just look inviting. They're looking up, and again, they're like looking around and just seeing what's out there. That's somebody who's probably open-minded, and they're probably more willing to receive whatever it is you're bringing to them, because they're probably in a better space to engage, for lack of better phrasing and lack of a diverse vocabulary. I'm trying to sound smart and eloquent, but I didn't have a better phrase for that. So you want to look out for those kind of people as far as the kind of people you want to interact with. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I was so turned off by the way this dude approached me and how aggressive he was. And when we finally did get into a conversation, he was not listening to me word for word. He was not listening to what I was saying. I'm like, yo, I don't want to give you my contact information. We hadn't even really gotten into a conversation about what each of us does. And he's sitting there offering a business opportunity, or he says he wants to speak to me on some business. But you didn't tell me what you do. He didn't introduce himself. He didn't give me his name. And so just the whole interaction was very off-putting. I really did not like it. And I'm already a shy person and very much to myself. If you don't approach me properly, I'm probably not going to want to interact with you after that, or you've left a bad taste in my mouth. But I'm trying to recollect this whole situation to give you a better idea of the psychology of how people think. So when you're going out into the world and you want to tell people about your product, you want to tell people about your music, you want to tell people about your service, you have a better understanding of what to look for and, a better understanding of how people will think. Really, you got to take yourself out of your own shoes and how you want people to react. You have to use the reality of how people think and how people would probably react in a situation to a stranger coming up to them, trying to offer them something that was never on their radar to get in the first place. But anyway, so those were the body language things that you can pay attention to see if someone's open or receptive or not. Next would be language. If you're going to approach somebody, come off as friendly. Don't come off as aggressive or rushing to get your point across, because I don't know, it makes you seem nervous. It makes you seem like you're just not friendly. Nobody wants an aggressive person in their face, especially a stranger. So many crazy people out here. You definitely don't want to put anybody in a mindset of, oh, what is this person about to do next? You want them to be in awe, in wonder. I wonder what this person has to say. So this guy, he did not introduce himself. He mentioned business, but he didn't say what he did. And then when I went to his page, because I did look at his Instagram page, I could not tell what he did from his page. So that was another thing. But anyway, when you're approaching somebody, introduce yourself, be as polite as possible, be as friendly as possible. It's okay to speak slowly. Don't feel like you have to rush. Okay. Well, as I was saying, my baby has an allergy. Got mucus in his nose. So as I was saying before the phone rang, when you are speaking to people, make sure you are coming off as friendly, introducing yourself, making sure people know who they're talking to. You also want to make sure that you're speaking not slowly, but just calmly and not rushing through your words or rushing through your sentences, because that comes off as either you are nervous because you probably haven't done this before, or you're coming off super aggressive and pushy. You don't want to come off as that. You want to come off as calm, confident, cool, collected, confident. You want to come off as all of those things. So just speak in a normal tone, speak in a regular tone, act natural, basically. And if you mention that you do business, say what kind of business you do or what kind of service you offer. It would be nice if you let the person know why you stopped them in the first place. Like, from the look of this guy's page, it looked like he was maybe a DJ or something. Looking at me, I don't know that he would have been able to tell that I was an artist, because I had on some church clothes, a skirt and a nice little shirt that was tucked into it, and then some heels. But he did not try to engage in any conversation with me to find a common ground to see what it is I do, if his business even related to me in any kind of way. So it's very much like a cold approach. I didn't feel like he had a reason to be approaching me outside of, I want to holler at you, I want to try to date you or something, which I'm not in the mental state for that right now, so I wasn't going for that. But anyway, when you are approaching people, make sure that you are finding a common ground, something that, like, basically have a reason why you're approaching somebody. You got to establish a common ground, something that makes sense as to why you're talking to this person and a connection that makes sense for the kind of business or the kind of service or product that you could possibly offer this person. When this guy approached me, he told me he was in business but didn't say anything about what that business was or what he did. I don't even know his name, and he was talking real fast. It was just super aggressive, and I didn't understand why we were talking or engaging in conversation, so I was really uncomfortable. So when you're approaching people, start a conversation. Make it seem as natural as possible, not like you're just trying to get a product off, not like you're just trying to make a quick sale. You want to kind of, even though you may not necessarily even care about this person's life and what they're doing at the mall this particular day, you kind of have to make it seem like you care a little bit about what this person cares about or the kinds of things this person might be interested in. That's why it's important to find that common ground, so you're not coming off as just, I just want to make a quick sale. Because if someone is expressing to you that they're not interested, why would you keep pushing? If anything, you turn people off of your brand even more when you keep pushing, because that means that you're an aggressive salesman and you don't listen, bottom line. Do wish you would just throw it up already. I don't know why you're denying it. Just let it go. Huh. If you're gonna make all that noise, I need you to go. You good? Lay down. Yeah, once you kind of get that common ground and you establish that small relationship, get. Can't do my video with you. Go further. I love him, but damn, I can't get this video done. He's over there hacking up stuff. All right, so let me get my thoughts together. I seem really abusive just now, I know. Next thing, right? You're establishing who you are, why you approach this person, and how you could possibly, how your service, product, benefit, or friendship, I don't know, or conversation, how it's benefiting this person. Next, what means of communication or what means of contact are you going to give this person? This guy, he didn't have any cards, and he was basically trying to force me to give him my number. I clearly expressed I didn't want to do that, but he just kept trying to push. I kept saying no. And so he was, all right, why don't you, do you have an Instagram? Like, yeah, I do have an Instagram. I should have just lied and said I don't, so I didn't have to give him my information in any kind of way, but I'm not the type to lie about stuff. So I gave him that information, but the point I want to make with that is when you are approaching people and you've established all those things, how are people going to contact you, or how are people going to follow up with what you say you offer? This guy had no business cards. He didn't give me any social media. Well, he did, but his social media ended up not representing anything like what he said he was doing, which I don't know what he did anyway. He didn't tell me what he did, and his social media didn't tell me what he did. So a better way for me to present this would be, make sure that you have evidence of what it is you do. If you want people to contact you, or you want to contact people, I mean, you want to look professional. You could have a card or something. If you're going to direct them to an Instagram or some kind of social media site, make sure that whatever it is you just pitched to them, make sure that your social media is representative of that. This guy only had pictures of himself, and it looked like maybe he could have been a DJ, but in his description, it said a bunch of stuff that I didn't figure would be what he does. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but yeah. So you want to make sure that you have evidence of what it is you do, who it is you are, and you want to make it as easy as possible for people to know, all right, so I talked to this person and now I'm going to their page, I'm going to their website. Oh, I see that they actually are about what they said they're about. And then from there, I guess just make sure your product or your service is good. I didn't write any notes down for this video, so I'm trying to make it as eloquent as possible without having had any notes written down. But let's go back over those main points, recap on all of that. So basically, you want to pay attention Make sure you're listening to people, not just to their body language, but also to what they are saying and how they're interacting with you to determine if somebody is a good candidate to approach, if somebody is approachable, if they look like they're the kind of person that is open to, something new. If they're closed off, you probably don't want to approach them. If they look like they're open and they're not closed off, then that's probably somebody that you can talk to approach about your product, your service, your artistry, whatever it is you want to approach somebody about. When you approach them, make sure you're friendly. Make sure you are introducing yourself. Make sure you are having a conversation and you're not just coming off as some salesperson that wants a quick sale or a quick buck. You're not just trying to convince them of a sale right away. Let them know why you approach them. Let them know who you are. Let them know what you do. Let them know why you approach them in the first place. Oh, you look like, based off of your shoes, it seems like you like this style. I like this style too. As a matter of fact, I sell hats of this style, or I sell shoes of this style. Just make it natural, a natural interaction. Make it friendly. Speak to them like you're speaking to a friend. Speak to them in a calm tone, something that's not too rushed, because you don't want to come off as aggressive and you don't want to come off as a sleazy salesperson that's trying to sell real quick, basically. Find a common ground. That will go back again to making sure they understand why they were approached in the first place, and then have evidence of what it is you do, what it is you sell, what it is you offer. So if you're going to direct people, or if you're going to ask people for their information, or if you're going to give people information, make sure that wherever it is you're directing them to is clear evidence of what you say you do. So if you have social media, if you're an artist and you have social media and you tell somebody to check out your page, from the first 6 posts, they should know you're a singer, you're a rapper, or if you're a traditional artist, you are painting, you're always in the studio, you're doing whatever. If somebody can't look at your page and tell if somebody can't look at your social media and tell within the first 6 posts what you do without even looking at your bio, because most people are going to go directly to the visual stuff, then you need to think about rebranding and think about how you're presenting yourself, just on social media at least. So those are the main things. Make sure that you're listening to people and you're figuring out who's best to approach. Make sure your approach is correct. Come correct when you talk to people, and make sure that you actually have good representation and evidence of what it is you do. Sorry this video was not as organized as some other tutorials and tip videos that I have done before. I just had this random idea, and I'm trying to do better with, when I have an idea, go ahead and act on it instead of sitting on it for too long, because then it's less likely to come to fruition if I don't make sure I do it. So that's what this video is all about, how to approach people when you're trying to sell your product. So hope you enjoyed it. If you like these candid videos like this, please hit that like button, big thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified each and every time I post a new video. Also, if you would like to go the extra mile and you would like to support me so that I have more time and so that I post these kinds of videos more quickly, head on over to my Patreon page, which you can subscribe for $5 per month. That would help me tremendously, and it would let me know that you support me and you want to see more of this content, and it would give me more free reign to be able to do those things, to do these kinds of things, these videos more often, because this does take time. Unfortunately, I cannot stop working my regular job to do these videos because the videos don't pay as of yet like that. So if you would like to see me on this tip more often and on my artist tip, then please head over to my Patreon page. That link will be in my description box below, as well as links to my social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, my website, and links to my music if you're interested in that as well. But thank you so much for watching. My name is LexC. Peace.
If you wanna give me time, give me all of it. If you really wanna love, give me all of it. If you want it to be real, give me all of it. Give you all of me, baby, give me all of you. Give it all, give it, baby.
Hey, this is LexC, and you're listening to my new song, Gimme, from my latest album, self-titled LexC. Click the links in the description below to listen to my new album available on Spotify.
Give me